Hello everybody, this is Teensy Vintage. Welcome, I'm Teresa. Today we are going to make a handmade journal. Or I am, and y'all are going to watch. I was watching YouTube recently and got myself in a rabbit hole of fantastic makers who were making these handmade journals. And it switched that little pleasure button in my brain that was like, you must do this. So this is my third journal. You may have seen a flip through earlier about for a journal that I made for my friend Mary for her birthday. And this is the third one. I made this one for a market that I did last Saturday. And I had two journals. I sold one of them. And then the next morning I got a message from the woman who bought the first one asking me if the second one, this one, was still available. And I was like, yeah. She's like, I'd like to buy it. And I was like, fantastic. So this one is already sold. However, I will be making more of these in the future because I can't stop. I also need to figure out how to sew the book together, which, as you can see here, I'm doing a bang-up job of sewing things in backwards. It's okay. We just undo and then get our needle again and fix it. That's the beauty of these nice bindings with embroidery thread. You can undo it and redo it, and it's okay. All right. So now I have what they call a signature, and that's basically one section of a book. You can have multiple sections or signatures and make a book, or you can just have one signature and have that be your book. Whatever you want. It's your book, so hey, run with it. This one is full of all kinds of things, and you will see me in this video using a lot of different pieces, printables, ephemera, all kinds of stuff. I've got scrapbook paper, I have some digital images, as you can see here, coffee dyed paper, pastel dyed paper, I have colored cardstock, I have digital journal pages that I have purchased from other artists. I have just about a little bit of everything. So I'm cutting out some images. This is the one I want to use on my cover. And the cover currently has some beautiful feathers on it. And I am going to make a focal with these creepy cute kids and put them on the front here with a little bit of glue around the corners of this image. And there's a whole lot of inking. The inking, I'm using Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink in Vintage Photo. Basically, it covers up any of the white paper that is left over when you cut something or want to make something look aged or older than it is. It's a nice faux technique. It just gives everything a cohesive look too. If everything has a nice brown border, then it all goes together, no matter where you got it from or if it's actually old or not. This is not old at all. This is pretty new. I literally just printed it out on my printer and here we go. I've also got this really yellowy gold washi tape, and I think, I want to say Heidi Swap is where I got that giant roll of washi tape, and that was years ago. I have no idea if she still makes it or not, but it's been sitting in my box of washi tape forever, and I was like, you know what, that would be great on this cover. And then we've also got our trusty bottle of art glitter glue, and art glitter is the name of the glue. There's no glitter in this glue. You can use glitter glue if you want. Why not? This is nice glue. It's permanent, water-based, and it doesn't have any acid. It's acid-free when it dries. So here I've got a vellum page, and sometimes those are hard to know what to do with. I've also got this pocket that I made a while back that has a cool looking envelope front on it. So what I'm going to do is just glue that to the vellum. So not only do I have a pocket, but you can also see the other side of the pocket so it doesn't lose its double-sidedness. What else? Here's a bunch of cool stuff. I'm not going to remember off the top of my head which artists and vendors I bought what from, but I will do my best to list things in the bottom of the, or in the, sorry, I will list things in the description. I can't talk. All right. So, there's no rhyme or reason really, except that I'm going to pick out things that I like. This particular journal has a very loose theme of nature and a little bit of creepiness, which, you know, it's the dark time of the year. Winter is coming, like, gosh, in a few days. The winter solstice will be here. And I don't know, I was just feeling very fall, very winter. And so I was kind of gravitating towards browns and greens and blues. Just whatever caught my eye, really. And this particular page, these all coordinate, which I was like, that's fantastic. It's a pocket and some tags and then a big journal card. The really nice thing about these handmade journals is that they're not straightforward journals. They're not just a collection of blank pages. They are a collection of pages that, yes, you can write on them, but there's also pockets and little tuck spots. There's little corners to slip things into, paper clips. There's envelopes. I think I was showing you that's from Pink Monarch Prints. That's who made those printables right there. I remembered to show some of them. And I'm just going to use my trimmer a whole lot to save time. I'm also going to use my circle cutter to kind of cut out that notch there. I used to think, oh, you don't need to put a notch at the top of your pocket, but honestly, it really does help you take things in and out of the pocket much more easily when it is inside of your journal. So now we've got this pretty blue page, and I'm going to go with this rusty brown color. Blue and orange and brown kind of all go well together because they are opposites on the color wheel. And I'm only doing two sides of this particular pocket, so that left and the top side is open and you can stuff a lot more things into it. And I want to put all of these little tags in there, or at least most of them. The nice thing here is you can pull out a journal card, you can write about your day or write about a theme or a topic and stick it back in there. You could also add some photos. You could add your own ephemera. You can really make these kinds of journals your own. They're very, very customizable. And I'm going to add some Tim Holtz stamps to some of these pieces just to give them a little more character. And I believe that stamp set, let me see, it's Stampers Anonymous, and it's called Eccentric. And it's got a lot of really cool stamps. I don't know how many are on there, but there's a lot. I'm using archival ink here. You could use distress ink if you wanted to, but that's, you know, it could be altered by water. Archival ink is waterproof when it dries. This one's in Paradise Teal, which I thought was a nice link back to the teal colored page. So there's that. And there's another little one that I've got there, and I think that one is called Library Green. Apologize in advance for all the sniffles you might hear in this video. I have allergies right now, and nothing I do seems to matter. It's just living in Texas. You just can't breathe here. All right, and those are little teeny tiny stickers of mid-century dudes, and I just put one on there just cause. Why not? There he goes. And that's kind of the fun thing, is that when somebody buys this journal, they will go through it and they can find all these little surprises. I'm also going to put some holes in here so that I can either, tie a little ribbon or string. In this case, I'm going to put some grommets. It just gives the tag a more finished look. I don't do it for every single tag in here, but I do for a lot of them. Mostly just because it looks cool. These are nice, kind of a dark bronze color tag. And then I'm going to put a little tiny piece. This one looks like a piece of lace. And there's also a piece of sari ribbon, S-A-R-I, like Indian women wear saris. Well, these are scraps from that fabric, and I buy them in bulk from a lovely lady on Etsy. It's a nice way to upcycle what would have just gone into the trash. These little fabrics are beautiful. The color is so vibrant. I love them. So for that little tag, it's just going to go up there with a paper clip. What I love about this is that the ribbon sticks out of the top. I really love it when little tags and ribbons stick out of the top and sides of the book. I think that looks really cool. So now I'm looking for some tickets that I can make a tab with. I treated myself to a little suitcase of tiny boxes for Black Friday. This particular one I got over at Michael's for $13, which I was like, okay. I think originally they were like 40 something and they were 75% off or whatever it was. And I was like, okay, yeah. And so now I'm able to go put all these little bits and bobs into this case, and they all are color coded. So I know if I need green stuff, I can go look in the little green box, blue stuff, teal stuff. So for example, I'm looking in the teal box right now. And it just helps me stay kind of organized. Which, I freely admit my organizational skills could be better. Could be a lot better. Now, that's the same paper as the cover. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pocket out of that paper so that it almost seamlessly continues onto that inner cover. And this one's going to be a nice 45-degree angle. And there, yeah. So that just keeps that theme going. That paper pad is from Prima Marketing, I believe. And it's a really beautiful pad of paper. And I have had it for years. And I said, dang it, I'm going to use this paper. It's just sitting here. So there's another one. That's just an old advertisement, and it can be a great journal card. It goes right there in the corner. Now here's my purple box. I'm going to pull out a few things that look good and try to see if any of them can go in here with our teal piece. I don't know. I audition a lot of things. I don't really end up going with many of them, but that's okay. Back in the purple box. So now it's time to add another pocket, and I'm thinking of teal things. Can you tell I'm into teal? And we're just going to go and ink up the sides. And I decided, you know what, I didn't really like that little tag, but I loved this tiny bouquet image that was on it. So now I'm going to glue that onto the bigger tag and add a little bit of orange, because we like blue and orange together, from my orange box. I know, it's just too precious, y'all. All right. This took me quite a while to make. In fact, I want to say it took me, gosh, probably about 10 hours start to finish. selecting the paper, printing everything, cutting things out, gluing, just deciding what would go where, creating little tags like this, putting in grommets. I mean, yeah, this one I didn't put a grommet on. I figured, I'm going to have this pretty orange ribbon, and we'll leave it at that. Here I am looking at green stuff. Just trying to see if anything will make a good pocket. Yeah, a lot of auditioning that goes on here, and that's okay. My advice for anybody who's thinking about doing this is just kind of go with your gut. Don't get too precious about it. Don't worry too much about measurements and preciseness. Have fun. My goodness. I mean, yeah, I said this took 10 hours, but I had a good time making this. And somebody fell in love with it, which is amazing to me. It makes me really happy. But yeah, I had a good time making this. And so just remember, somebody out there is really going to love what you make. Sometimes it might take you a while to find that person, but they're out there. In fact, Saturday, I also sold a painting that had been sitting in my studio for 2 years that I thought was mediocre, honestly. It wasn't a painting that I would have been like, oh my God. But this guy on Saturday saw it in my booth, and he just went gaga for it. I was like, okay. And he left, and then he came back. And then he left, and then he came back a third time, and he was like, okay, I'm going to buy it. And I said, great. He bought my painting, y'all, for real money wow. He was so sweet. And he said, I'm going to hang it up in my office. And I was like, oh my gosh, cool. Okay. So anyway, I just want you to have faith in yourself, because if you are making things, you're being creative. The creative act is a human thing. And just enjoy yourself. Don't make things for other people, in the sense of don't make things for what you think other people are going to like. Make what you like. Make what you enjoy. Make a tiny pocket that you put a mushroom card in. Yeah. And yeah, you will figure it out. If you decide to sell your art one day, you will figure it out. It won't be instant. And you won't know how to make things right away either. You have to practice. Keep working. If you want to get into making journals, awesome. Make a few pockets first, a few standalone pockets. Just glue some stuff to a page. See what works and what doesn't work. Sew some paper together. Sew some more paper together. You don't have to show every single thing you do to the world. Some things are just for you. Some things are just for practice, But yeah, have a good time. Some people would look at this and be like, oh my God, you want me to cut out little tiny tabs and put them on pages? That sounds like a nightmare. But for me, I had a lot of fun. Oh, here's part 2. Okay. This is going to be a multi-part video. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning. But yeah, this took a long time, so I didn't do it all in one sitting. Thank goodness. I think I probably would have gone completely numb. It took several days to do this. This is a little celestial themed pocket, a little corner pocket, and here I'm using my bone folder and the little divot in my paper cutter to make some score lines to make the fold really neat. So if you're like me and you're not so good at folding paper, which I'm not great at it, y'all, use the tools at your disposal. I don't have a scoreboard, but I have that one little groove in my paper cutter that I can use, and that's all I need. So yeah. This page is really great. This is from a printable, and it's apparently a novel or a play, I don't remember, something called Bats Seminary. Um, something young women, I don't remember. It was a hoot, and it had this beautiful drawing of a bat on there that gets a little covered up. But for me, the bat is a little surprise for whoever ends up with this journal. That way, when they take out these little cards, they're like, ooh, little cards. And it's like, oh, look, a cool bat. So, yeah, this is me nerding out, in case you couldn't tell. And if you're still listening, you are amazing. I just want to say I am blown away by all the wonderful people who have been following me. I've had a lot of people start following me in the past couple weeks. There's some nice momentum going, and welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Y'all are amazing. All right, so we've got this little corner in there now. We can stick in some little tags. We'll put a little bit of ribbon on those too. Some more sorry scraps. And I'm just auditioning which ones will go. So we've got that beautiful teal and orange on the opposite page there. This page is a little more brown and gold. And so it needs something else. I find that if you put groups of odd numbers, 3s and 5s and things like that together, and other sizes together, you get a really interesting look. So now I've got some Tim Holtz washi tape out, and I was trying to show you what it was called. Shoot. I don't remember what that particular tube is called, but honestly, they're all kind of the same. Sorry, Tim. Love you. But they add a nice grungy texture. It's just a little something else. And you know what? I'm going to add a tab. Some of the tabs I'm adding to the top of the page. Some of the tabs I'm adding to the side. They're not there to be organizing tabs, the way you'd have in like an address book. You remember those, kids? Yeah, if you're as old as I am, you remember address books. Now you just have Google contacts, I guess. But address books all had little tabs so that you'd know, oh, the N's, the P's, the Z's. You go right to the page because there would be a tab there that would guide you. Well, these tabs are purely decorative. So now we're moving on to the next page. I'm auditioning a few more pieces here. Does this page need a pocket? I decided, you know what? No, it doesn't need a pocket. It needs a creepy skull. So I've got this round image, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the bottom half so that the top half is a little tuck spot, and I can tuck in a piece of ephemera behind it. So we're just going to glue that bottom half and clean up our mess. And I'm going to audition a few little pieces here just to see what might work. And I love this piece of paper that has some handwriting on it. And we'll just stick that back behind the skull, and that's it. All done. We've got a few more pieces here. And these are just random things. This is an old stereoscope image. And a stereoscope, gosh, from, I want to say the 19th century, maybe the early 20th century too. You'd have this contraption where you would put it in front of your face. It looked like Google, what is it? Darn it. the virtual reality goggles. Well, these were a way to look at images, but you'd have two of the same image right next to each other, and you'd put them in a little slot right in front of your eyes, and you would look at it, and you could see different scenes from, exotic places or events or whatever. Anyway, gonna just add a little bit of flair here and there. Gonna put a date on here. Now here, I'm careful to leave off the year because obviously I don't have a vintage date stamp. It would be cool to have one of those, but I don't have one of those. Oh, and I realized I taped my page together. Yay. It's okay. We're gonna fix it. Gonna just paste another piece on top of that tear. See, again, don't worry about being perfect. Really. This is just going to add one more layer. It's more texture. It's more color. It's cool. So anyway, yeah, here's another little purple ticket. That is a number, I think. Yeah. Ink those up. And we're going to just paste that number right on top of those waves. And then the purple ticket, I'm going to fold that in half and turn it into a tab. And I'm so sorry, some of this is, the bottom of the page got cut off, or the screen rather. Listen to me, I have so much trouble going between, analog and digital. I'm Gen X, so I straddle that world, I was not a digital native. In fact, I don't think I touched a computer until about 6th grade. So, yeah, good times. So, there's a little bit of extra string there. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. Some people like to put little beads and things on there, which is cool. I ended up just leaving it alone. So we're going to go get another tiny stamp, another Tim Holtz stamp, and put that on the tiny tab. So now it has a cool old-fashioned looking number on there. And we're going to also put some numbers on these two future tabs. I figured since I had the stamps out, why not just stamp everything right now? And this time we'll use black ink. Like I said, these are not for organization. They're just to look cool. Some people like to make all this stuff in bulk ahead of time, which is great. I just kind of like to make it as I go. So whatever works is the way you should do it. There's some of that coffee dyed paper. It smells like coffee. It's amazing. I have not tried to make my own coffee dyed paper yet. So I buy it from a lovely lady in North Carolina, I believe. She has a shop on eBay. Yeah. There are crafters on eBay. People who will sell you digitals and all kinds of goodies. All right. Well, that is the end of part 1. And I will post another video soon to show you the rest of this making session. I really am glad y'all stuck around. I will talk to you soon. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you next time.